Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today you will learn how to run end-to-end tests with the Cypress. I have noticed that we have installed Cypress before, so I guess we are ready to go. We're going to put our tests in the tests folder of Laravel. Let's go ahead and click and create the configuration file for Cypress. So cypress.config.typescript. I'm going to paste the configuration file. So what we have to configure, first of all, perhaps this is going to be used whether Chrome Web Security for the same origin policy and insecure mixed content is enabled. So I'm going to do false. And for the base URL for API for our end-to-end test, we're going to tell Cypress where to look for the tests folder. So the supported files has to end with end-to-end, and fixtures of folder should be test Cypress and fixtures. And maybe you want to run or record videos when performing tests. We are going to disable this particular option. And first of all, you're going to tell me what is fixtures. So we're going to see fixtures right now. So let's open our test folder. It's going to be the test folder of Laravel. This is just a personal preference. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it Cypress. Inside the Cypress folder, I'm going to create a new folder. It's going to be called end-to-end, as shown in the structure. And another folder, it's going to be called fixtures. I'm going to explain later on what is fixtures. Another folder, it's going to be support. Create the fixtures first of all. So briefly, fixtures is just a JSON response, or you can consider it as mocked JSON response in order to be used in API call. So basically, we're not going to do real API calls, but because we're not going to interact with real API, we're going to mock the API. So in order to do so, we need, in our case, the list of products. If you want to get your own list of products, you have to run the requests, the real requests, and try to copy the JSON response. So I'm going to paste the fixtures that I have prepared for this tutorial. So let's open the products. So this is the list of products that we have. I just copied this list of products from the real API call and I paste it here. For the product or the product detail, the same thing. And for the user, it's the same thing. So we need those fixtures in order to get some result from the API with mocking the data. So this is the first part. So the second part, we need to define the commands. What are commands in Cypress? So briefly, they are reusable functions that extend Cypress built-in API. This will let you to encapsulate, for example, the logic. If you have an experience with robots pattern, it's basically the same thing. And another advantage, which is add custom actions that feels like a native Cypress command. For example, it's going to be called login. We're going to see this in this tutorial. And it's going to improve, and which is the most important thing actually, is to improve the readability and keep our test-to-end dry, if you will. So we usually do that in a folder. It's going to be called support. So under support, I'm going to create a new folder. It's going to be, let's group our commands here inside commands. And we need to create a new file. I'm going to call it commands. And we need to create another file. It's going to be end-to-end test. It's going to import all the commands from the commands folder. In this file, we're going just to import everything from the commands folder. And in the commands, I forgot here to do commands. So in the commands file, here we're going to register our custom commands. Inside the chainable, we can add here the custom commands. Let's write our first command. So inside commands, I'm going to create a new file. It's going to be called product commands. We will do Cypress commands and add, so we can add a new command. The name of the command, I'm going to call it assert has correct products count, just to get you up and running with the Cypress end-to-end test. It will take in parameter products preview. It's going to be the list Cypress and get, and we can access from our home screen. So we have the products card. So we're going to check here product card. I'm going to count how many products we have. So I'm going to do here products card should have length. I'm going to test on products length. that's pretty much it for this assert has correct product count. So now let's come back to register this command. So in commands, I'm going to do here has correct products count. We'll pass in parameter products. The error is gone because we have defined the key here in our, or we have registered the key here. So I think it's safe to say that we need to declare the functions here and add it afterward. So we're not going to run our test yet. Basically what I want to do, so in home screen end-to-end test, I want to launch first of all the home screen and to check if the skeleton loader is displaying. So I'm going to make the API call, then assert correct product detail count. And for each product, I'm going to assert that the product is in card. So that's basically what we are going to do. Another command, it's going to be launch home screen. Launch home screen. Add another one to check if the product is in card. Or we can just do assert has the correct product or something like this, but I'm just going to call it assert products in card. So we need the index of the product and the product itself. All right, so let's do assert product is in card. You can access it here. So this is the right way. So you have to add it in commands, register, then come back to define the command. So assert products in card. And what we will do, index the products preview. We'll do Cypress and Git. What we need to access here, the products card by the class. We can access the needed index by passing index. And there is a function that's going to be called scroll into view. So going to scroll into that particular component. And within, we're going to make sure, again, I think this title is misleading. Actually, let's come back to the commands and perhaps I'm going to call it assert has correct data. What we will do, Cypress, and we're going to do contains the product title that we will pass, product price. And let's check right now the image. So in order to get the image, it's a little bit tricky because of how Vuetify is defining the CSS class. So in order to access the current image, so I think it's in Vuetify, they have something like v and image and double underscore and image. And here we have to define a timeout. So if Cypress could not find this element, it's going to throw an error of timeout. Should be visible and should have the attribute, so source. This attribute should equal to the product that we have provided and the thumbnail. So it's going to have the correct URL. So that's pretty much it for the test. And as I said before, in the home screen end-to-end test, I would like to assert that we have passed the loading indicator. So the skeleton is no longer visible. And I would like to assert that we have the correct number of cards. And I like to assert that each card has the correct data. So the data that we are displaying is title, price, and the correct thumbnail. Cypress does not know where to go, so we need to specify some commands when it comes to navigation. Navigation commands. The command that we will do is launch home screen or navigate to home screen. We're gonna tell Cypress to navigate to the URL that's going to define the home screen. And if you do remember from the routes, we have the home screen defined as this route. So Cypress intercept get. So it's like making an API call. And we have defined in the Cypress configuration the API base URL. So how to access it from the configuration? So it's very easy. It's going to be const. I'm going to call it API URL, or you can call it API base URL, and environment API URL. And here we're going to do the API URL and products. What is the fixture that has to be loaded? Products.json. So basically it's going to serve this products.json as a response when we hit this URL. As going to name this as get products, and we will do cypress.visit this route. I think that right now we are ready to write our first end-to-end test. So under end-to-end, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it homescreen.cy and TypeScript. Let's first of all describe our tests. Before each, navigate to the home screen, Cypress, launch home screen. We want to make sure that the skeleton are invisible after loading. So this is the test that we want to do. We are describing the test. I think it's a good idea to add it as a command. So this is going to be under the products command. First register the command. So under products command, I'm going to do commands, Cypress and git v skeleton. I don't know by heart the the name of the classes under Vuetify. So if you want to know the name of the class, just go to the documentation or the playground of Vuetify and check the component that you want to have the class for, and copy the components from the source code of using the browser. So that's what I did. So the skeleton is going to be a little bit hard to get it, but it's doable, and this is how I did it. So the skeleton loader, I'm going to assert it should be visible. Use the command assert products or products loading indicator is visible. So now you can see this is very clean. I think that I need to do should show skeleton loader while products is loading. This is way better. And here should display correct product data in cards, if you will. We need to wait, first of all, that the get products that we have defined here is done loading. When this is done loading, and we have called this interception get products. So we're gonna use it here. Wait until this request is done. It's gonna be get products. After, from the fixture, gonna load a fixed set of data located in a file, products.json. After loading the product, or after loading the mocks data, I'm gonna create here the list of products. We will assert, first of all, correct count. So what it does, it's gonna take the products and it's going to assert that the number of cards displayed equal to the amount of the products that we have from the fixture. So this is the first assertion. Now let's do the individual assertion for each products card. So we're gonna do products, and for each assert product has correct data, and we'll pass the index and we'll pass the products. So this is our end-to-end test. Let's run this test and hopefully it's gonna work. So you can run it as shown in the documentation, but I would like to add a custom command from npm that's allow us to run this command, which is very great, and it's not going to you're not going to type the whole thing at once. So under the package.json, we have defined a custom command here. I'm gonna add another one for this particular end-to-end test. So I will do, or I'm gonna call it Cypress like this test, and it will be called home end-to-end test that we have to run. So it's gonna be npx Cypress and run. We need to define the specs. We would like to open the browser and test in the browser, and we have to specify which end-to-end test we would like to run. So let's do npm run. So there is a problem here. There is a typo here, headed, not head. And let's try again. So it fails. Why? So I will walk you through what I've done, because there are some typos during the process that I haven't noticed. And actually it's very hard to notice. So for the first one in the toolbar, so let's go to the toolbar, some stuff that I've missed. Here basically in the toolbar, we didn't import the login form and the register form. So make sure to do that. Next, in the toolbar again, I have a typo here. I have just put, I guess, I've added justify and justify. So the third one, I have updated the, I think the header component. So there are too much typos here, actually, especially in the CSS. So here I have updated this, where is this? So I guess this has width, so I added color, and instead here it was max width, it should be max height. And here it's missing the comma. So I guess it has to be just like this. And I think that's pretty much it for the header. And if you get confused, you can copy the same header from my GitHub repository and paste it there. So nothing substantial. And again, if you have, make sure that you are running your projects under the current IP address, and this should be shown here as the IP address, and make sure to add environment variable to make the same thing here. And in constant, for the base URL should be like this, and the host should be like this. And this is the application that I have. All right, so now let's forget about this and let's run again our end-to-end test. I'm going to close this window and let's run the test. And it fails. There is a problem. Let's investigate. So it said here, launch screen is not a function. So let's go to the commands. So the problem is sometimes you have to go nuts in order to find the problem. And the problem is basically in the commands, we didn't import this. It should be imported automatically. So I forgot about it. So right now, finger crossed, let's see again. So congratulations, the test has passed. It's so fast. It's blazingly fast. So let's, it passes all the specs, all the tests is passing. Let's run it again. So it's pretty fast. You can see here on the screen, checking all the different data, and we are done with the first test.